There's a video circulating right now with Erica Kirk. You may have seen it, maybe not. And there's a guy in the video with her. They say, or he says, that his name's JT Massey, supposedly a former baseball player. Some people online are even saying that they were engaged at some point. Now, that goes contrast to the story that we've all been told over the years, is that Erica Kirk had not dated before. But I don't know the full background. And honestly, I didn't even know she was engaged to anybody. So that alone is odd. All right. You know, these photos have been circulating for a few weeks now. But here's another one. But if we forget that guy for a second, I want you to listen to what she says here.
Sex sells, babe.
Hi.
Sex sells, babe. This was posted by Dog vs. World Official.
Good morning, America.
Really handsome.
You look gorgeous.
Really handsome. You look gorgeous.
Okay.
So he goes through talking about it.
Babe, that's deep in there. Give them cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells.
Pay close attention.
Sex sells. Okay. And then almost immediately after that, she says, hey, this is against our religion.
Hi, I'm JT Massey.
Hi, I'm Erica Kirk.
So we've got the
So let me get
about her religious values.
That's
Even
me.
that's against religion.
even though that's against our religion. Okay. Talking about values, morality. And I'm watching this like, hold on. Just weird. Just weird. Big contrast to the one we see today, right? Because if you're talking about selling sex, selling image, selling allure, it runs directly against the religion she's claiming to represent. Now, and that's not an opinion. That's reality. I don't need an argument for that. That's freaking reality. Now, and then the part that actually made me stop the video is she casually says she lived in China.
We've got a confirmation of living in California.
I currently live in Venice, California.
And now also stating she lived in China.
Because I've lived in China. I've lived in Shanghai.
What? China? I'm like, what the freak is Erica Kirk doing in China? I know we've heard about the Romanian orphanage thing or whatever, but why is this detail just now coming out? Maybe it has been out. I just hadn't heard about it. Maybe I'm just living in a hole. I don't know. But that's never been part of the public story before. And it surfaces now alongside other stuff, right? Because that is not a throwaway detail. If you've ever dealt with China, you've ever seen anybody trying to go to China, if you ever try to go to China yourself, you know exactly what it means. You don't just go to China and float around anonymously. You fill out a serious visa application. They know who you are. They know why you're there. They know who you talk to. You're being followed the entire time. If you're an American and you go to China, you're being watched, period. So I'm going to ask the obvious question, what was she there for? And why does that part of the story feel conveniently ignored while everything else is being pressed, okay? You know, I was going to go to Russia many years ago, maybe 13, 15 years ago, to be security for a VIP. Anyway, I had to fill out lots of documentation, and they wanted me to send my actual passport to the the Russian consulate. And listen, they held my passport until after the dates of the trip. So I received my passport after my passport and the visa approved after the trip was supposed to take place. So the VIP didn't go because I was going to be the security. And that was a way they kept me from going. They still gave me the visa, still in my passport, never used, never stamped, but the visa's in there. I couldn't even get into Russia, okay, just because being in the military. So if we look at this, where this pattern shows up is that we're being sold a persona, trad values, conservative femininity, wholesome optics. That's the image. But what you actually see publicly is a highly manufactured presentation. Who was next to Charlie Kirk? Perfect lighting, framing, always camera ready, and skin tight, black leather pants. And yeah, I'll say it. Maybe that's why the skin tight leather pants, because sex sells. She said it. Maybe that's why. Even on the right, especially on the right, they had Nicki Minaj up there, who is said horrendous things in music, dances in music videos with thongs, not the representation of trad values, traditional values. If this was about ideas, optics wouldn't matter, but they do matter. That's the whole point. Arguments don't go viral, man. Aesthetics do. Now, if you stack this together, a resurfaced video, mystery guy, an engagement nobody knew about, allegedly, I don't know, open admission of sex sells, religious messaging that contradicts it, and a sudden mention of living in China. And I'm supposed to just nod and not ask questions. All it needs your time. I'm absolutely asking questions. Here's why: because I know this world and how it actually works. How it actually works. So years ago, I was contacted by a political PAC. Okay. Pro-gun campaign, college students. 30-second clips they wanted. They hit me up and they paid me a lot of money for 30 seconds. Nothing shady. I mean, I believed in the cause. It's a Republican PAC, pro-gun, pro-2A. But it did shatter the illusion. Because if they were paying me that much for a few seconds of influence, what do you think they're paying full-time personalities, man? The funny thing is, and most of you know about this if you watched me back in those days, I told you. Later, they asked me if I would run for office. I considered it. They offered backing. They offered to send people down, a team down, to knock doors, college kids. Funding, infrastructure. They said they'd train me. You know what I said? I said no. After I said no, then they offered me to come to speak, pay me to come speak at a major political event. I declined again. And then later, because the way the world was going, I considered running for politics locally. One point, a friend of a friend hooked me up with a former senator off the record, meet with him just to talk about how things work, because I was curious if it was possible. He told me a lot, and if you know, I told many people back in this time when this happened, but I was talking about running for smaller offices, trying to grow. What he told me was that challenging certain power structures just doesn't end careers. Sometimes it ends people. I asked him about our senator. If I had ran against him, what would happen? He said, well, you'd probably get washed out pretty early because he has major financial backing. But if you were a threat, your life would be over. And then I stumbled upon this clip with Charlie Kirk's talking about that very man.
Updates about Israel and
this was from June. This was from June when Charlie's talking about this. So June, July, August, September.
Iran and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. And this is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah. And
so Charlie Kirk, very influential, going against Lindsey Graham, who is the face of the military-industrial complex, heavily funded by Israel. During this time, Charlie Kirk started asking some questions, started not exactly aligning with the Republican opinion, the conservative, the GOP. And it was unusual to the others following lockstep, okay? When you have Donald Trump, who is currently backing Lindsey Graham. We know Lindsey Graham is a swamp creature, part of the deep state. He is the full-time military industrial complex guy. He wants to bomb everywhere he sees. We have Charlie Kirk, again, who's very influential, who brought many people into the political world and put backing into it. So now, kind of to sidestep a little bit, but if you fast forward to now, I've personally been contacted by foreign state-aligned media. I told you guys, I showed you the receipts a few months ago where I was contacted. Ukrainian state media. They reached out to me a few months ago. I told you about it. Ukraine 24, government operated. I turned them down. I showed you the receipts. This week, I get contacted by, guess who? Russian state media reached out to me. Turned that down too. They have teams here in the U.S., believe it or not. Same pitch, same playbook, different flags. They weren't asking me to lie. They wanted access because influencers are the new battlefield. You don't need tanks anymore. You need faces. You need reach. You need credibility. So when I see influencers, political figures, media personalities with carefully curated optics, global footprints, and managed backstories, I don't shrug anymore. I pay attention. I ask now, how many of these folks are being funded by foreign governments? Really, I do. You look around and you wonder, man, how many of these people are funded by foreign governments? How many of these influencers are getting paid to push narratives? We've seen it come out a few months back, maybe last year. Tim Pool and some other guys got caught up in some mess. I don't know the intricacies of it, but there were some claims. So again, and once you get to the point though, you start taking the money, you're owned, just like most politicians are owned. Today, influencers are as strong or maybe stronger than the politicians because they can create narratives. And then you heavily fund them. Then all of a sudden you go against the grain. You go against the paid for message. And they may not like it. You know, today I'm downtown, state capitol. I see these photos people posted online of these trucks, 18-wheelers with banners and so on. Professional banners, coordinated messages, covering the Capitol. SC truckers set the blast horns for reform at State House. And then I asked myself, that's not grassroots. Grassroots doesn't come with a logistics budget. Everything you're seeing right now, man, everything, protests, movements, outrage cycles, it's all funded by someone who wants something. Nothing is organic. Nothing is organic anymore. I don't trust half of what I see, whether it's religion, politics. How many pastors are on payroll? How many churches are on payroll? Politicians we know are on payroll. How many influencers are on payroll? Nothing is freaking organic anymore. That's why I turn it down, dude. That's the difference between me. I turn it down. It's not because I'm holier than thou. It's because I run a company called Black Scale Survival. We sell gear. My whole mission in the beginning of starting this was to outfit people with equipment. Started doing some training videos, teach people how to survive, defend themselves, and so on. That was my mission, not to run narratives. And what I know is that if I bullshit my audience, you guys, my business dies. Because you're going to be able to sense it. Governments don't have that problem. PACs don't have that problem. Foreign media doesn't have that problem. They can spin, they can rebrand, they can bury details. This influencer fails, we'll just pick up a new one. So it's why when I look at these things and I see, man, what's going on? I think I just would act differently if my spouse got brutally murdered. And a lot of people are going to watch this video and going to think, oh man, this is about Erica Kirk. It's not. She was just the catalyst to the message. Because things are not always as what they appear to be. And why is the image being sold not matching the behavior that has been revealed? You don't have to agree with me, man. But if you're not willing to even ask a question, then you're not thinking. You're just consuming. And that's exactly what this entire video is built to do. Teach you that it's not about just consuming what's out there. It's about asking questions, because most things, everything you've been told is probably a lie. It was probably some manipulation, some purpose that you're being told it. Anyway, guys, before I jump off, it gets dark every day. I don't know if you guys know that. It gets dark every day. And, if you're not joined, if you have not joined our newsletter, make sure you do. The link's below, okay, in the description. You'll get the 10 rules for martial law. You're probably going to need that soon. Be automatically sent to you once you sign up. Don't email me. Sign up on the email. People email me. That's not how you sign up. You sign up through the link. Anyway, I'm always putting out training content there, things that you can do for free. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm just sending you free training guides, as well as we have our protocols that you can get from blackscoutsurvival.com, as well as equipment. But in there, I got I try to drop them every Wednesday, some training information. And what you're going to see in an upcoming one, talking about urban survival, like when you're moving at night, because it gets dark every day, walk into your car, back alley, parking garage, stairs, wherever, because these transitional areas, as we call them, are usually where attacks happen, and criminal opportunists look for the threat, right? The best time to put the threat into effect, and they'll try to catch you off guard. That's why you have to be observant, stay frosty, as I say all the time, and have a flashlight in your hand. Now, there's a lot of flashlights out there, and choose whichever you want, but a little partial of mine because I designed it. I think it's a lot better. But this is the BSS V6 removable strike bezel, because if you try to go through some kind of security checkpoint, they're going to snag that thing off you. You can then put this on your keychain, looks ambiguous, put it on your ring finger. Then when you get through those pesky things, you can roll it back on. Flying, take this off, put in your bag, your check bag, whatever, put this on. And then you can flash and smash. This thing is like a meat tenderizer. It will destroy the enemy. It has this light, because I think I've developed it maybe 12 years ago. So many emails that this has saved people's life. A lady was walking her dog one day, got attacked. She mauled the guy with this thing. Another guy was in New York on a subway. 3 guys attacked him. He destroyed them with this, and he sent me pictures. Very nasty stuff. We have black and olive drab, but they're on sale right now. I don't sell these. I design them for the company through night, but flash and smash, easy business. Walk carrying it through in your hand. You can put a little bungee here, wrap it around so that way it's stuck to your hand, and you can put in your non-dominant if you are carrying a concealed pistol. That way you can reload magazines and everything. If you have that bungee around here, I've shown that in many videos before. That way it stays in place. You can change mags, everything with the flashlight being accessible. That way you can hold it out and shoot under low light conditions. But anyway, guys, I'll put the link for those below. They're on sale right now, so make sure you snag one up because you got to stay frosty, Stratton, and dangerous. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in. And again, frosty, strapped, dangerous, because nobody's coming to save you. Black Scout out.
2, 3. 4, 2.